Alright, so the topic I'd like to talk about right now is how to avoid getting scammed. Alright, I've personally been there. I used to be like everyone else who sucked at talking to women. I used to buy girls things. One time I filled up a girl's gas tank just to be so fucking nice that she'd see something in me. Alright, I know what it's like to feel that way. That's the reason when I see things like this, it fucking pisses me off. It really makes me mad that people are preying on other people who don't know any better to make a quick buck. I'm bringing this up because browsing YouTube, I was served a 47 fucking minute advertisement about some magical system that would help you get the girl of your dreams. I almost skipped it. My reaction was so well trained by YouTube's method of serving advertisements that when I heard the video I was watching stutter, my mouse automatically flew towards the skip button. But I'm curious, I'm always curious, and I'd love for you all to be just as curious, but with caution. And here's why. I like to look at what other people are doing around me and analyze what's going on. So when I realized it was an ad for getting women, I was like, okay, let's see what this guy has to say. And then based on my personal experience and knowledge of how I know the universe to work, I can then pass judgment on whether this technique or system or whatever they're trying to push is viable or not. So I looked at the length and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Throughout this whole video, there are so many marketing tactics used to try and suck you into buying what they're selling. But first and foremost, why the fuck is your advertisement a fucking 47-minute timeshare video? Your advertisement should be short and sweet and to the point. That's red flag number one right off the fucking bat. I'm lazy sometimes when it comes to YouTube advertisements, and every once in a blue moon, I'll continue what I'm doing and let the ad play through. However, I've been burned on that before. When I let the ad play and it's been playing, and I'm like, when is this shit gonna end? You have to realize, I clicked on something that I'm interested in. When your advertisement comes in halfway through what I'm interested in watching, you are, in fact, interrupting me. It's like getting between a drug addict and their drugs. I'm not going to be fucking happy about it. You're interrupting me. So your point better be really fucking good and short so I can get back to what I want to be doing and not have to listen to your lies and bullshit about how desperately you want my money. Anyway, I'm going to break down this advertisement and point out to you why, in my opinion, based off my personal experiences, that I think this advertisement is fucked up. I'm not going to specifically mention who this advertiser is and try to prove that they're wrong. That's not the point of this discussion. I'm not trying to start shit. The entire point of this is to give people the insight on how to see what these red flags are so they don't get sucked into throwing away their hard-earned money. Also, I did not buy the product. And spoiler, the techniques are behind the paywall, so I can't even judge his abilities anyway. The message I'm trying to convey is to point out all the strange inconsistencies and sketchy ass wording that makes me worry about some poor sucker getting cleaned out. Okay, right after the already ridiculous length, this guy introduces himself and states, "You will have what it takes to make any woman obsess over you." Holy shit, that's fucked up. Let's put it this way. What if a pharmaceutical company came out with a brand new drug and they claimed it could make any type of cancer you have completely cured? Do you have any idea how medication works? It takes scientists years of horribly dedicated work to even figure out a possible solution to a medical problem. Then it takes years of studies and testing to create that medication to possibly combat that problem. Even then, humans are so biologically different from each other that there's no fucking way your drug is going to work flawlessly on everyone. That's why they're legally required to list off all the symptoms. But Senpai, he's not talking about medication, he's talking about getting girls. Yeah, they're not even close to coming out with medication that helps people mentally. The human psyche is so fucking complicated and diverse that this guy has the audacity to claim that you can walk up to any woman you want. And not only is she going to be into you, he says obsessed. Fuck, this guy should just walk up to random girls on the street and cure their mental depression and shitty personal image they have as well. Are you fucking kidding me? Moving on, another red flag. He says, quote, "I'm going to give you one of my very best tips in just a moment. You'll use it to figure out if a girl will have sex with you. End quote. He continues about how some girls need to have sex right fucking now, but some need to wait a little bit. So you should just stick around to hear about this amazing tip that he's going to get around to in just a moment. Oh my fucking god. And then he says, before that, here's a story. Now I'm looking back at the length of the advertisement, and we're 1 minute in. So right there, he's lying. He told me he was going to tell me a tip in just a moment. This fucking story is some sob story about how girls didn't like him. Oh wait, is that your target audience? Are you trying to have them relate to you? Even if this dumb story is true, he goes on to talk about how he went to work for, quote, one of the world's best known pickup artists. So right there, we don't even know who he's talking about. But obviously, he's one of the world's best known. Could you imagine going to a job interview and they read your resume, and on your resume it says that you went to one of the nation's best colleges, but it doesn't say what college? How the fuck are they going to know if the college you went to is any good to begin with? This shit gets me so heated. Continuing, after working for some random person, he claims to have learned every book, every DVD, yet still didn't know anything about what women really wanted. Fuck, bro. Maybe you just suck ass at learning. Then get this, he says, worst of all, everything still felt like hard work. He's like, after all these years of work and dedication, it still felt like hard work. It got me depressed. So what he's attempting to do is tell you that you don't need hard work to be so incredibly amazing that you can make any woman obsess over you. If your fucking toilet exploded and you're like, fuck, I need to call a person to fix this for me, and your roommate comes up to you and is like, bro, get this. I learned this awesome system that without hard work, I can fix anything in the house. And it'll be way cheaper than hiring anyone else. And you're like, oh, well, okay, I don't see how that works, but where did you learn this from? And he's like, I learned from one of the world's best known handymen. And even after reading every house fixing book and DVD, it still felt like hard work. So I developed my own system for fixing any house I want so that the house becomes obsessed with me and not the other way around. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see how absurd this is starting to sound? It gets worse. He goes on to say, what was the one thing that changed? Put me in the big leagues, dating famous actresses and models and making them my girlfriends at will, getting interviewed by CNN and Men's Health, and having men line up to pay me thousands of dollars just for 1 weekend of training. Let me tell you right fucking now that being able to pull that off does not take only one thing in someone's life to change to make that happen. I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care who the fuck you learned from and then transcended. There's no way in fuck that you changed one thing in your life to have women throw themselves at you completely obsessed and get interviewed by major companies and have men line up to pay you thousands of dollars. Like, fuck, that's end game, bro. If you did all that by only changing one thing in your life, why the fuck are you trying to sell me something? Why waste your time trying to sell it to me when you could just be living fat? How could someone like that try and tell me that it's all for my benefit? Holy fuck. Okay, so the one thing that changed in his life. Oh wait, it started with Literotica. So right fucking there, if it started with one thing and then involved another thing or a series of other things, then it's not just one change that was made. You literally just contradicted yourself, and now I'm absolutely sure that you're lying to me. Moving on, he talks about how Literotica novels are the equivalent of male pornography subscriptions. I know for a fact that porno plot lines, if they even have one, are not even close to reality. I've even seen firsthand a beautiful woman literally ask one of my friends to suck his dick, and he refused. Because that's not how the human brain works. All these poor guys that don't know what's going on don't know how to act when they get somewhere with a girl. So even though every day they wish and dream and hope about what could possibly happen with a gorgeous girl, when it actually comes time to get it done, they freak out. Their mind fucks everything up for them. There's no way that you're going to act out some girl's fantasy and expect her to just go with the flow. Bruh, she doesn't even know you as a human being yet. She doesn't even know if she's going to want to invest time and energy into you yet, just because you did the same things that Edward Cullen did in Twilight. That's why they're called fantasies, because it's not real life. I've never read the Chronicles of Narnia and been like, oh my god, that's how government works. If you piss them off, they turn you into an ice statue. God, this is so bad, man. So bad. This next flag really fucking pisses me off. He literally says that when he studied literotica and truly understood what the primitive female reptile brain desired, he fucking said that after studying works of fiction, he truly understood what the primitive female reptile brain desires. What is this trash? How about you study actual psychology and the evolution of human society? Spoiler alert, he never tells you what the primitive female reptile brain actually desires. Fuck it, I'll tell you what the primitive female reptile brain actually desires. Let's go back to caveman times. Humans are animals. Primitive humans, just like animals, are concerned with two main things: survival and replication. That is biologically hardwired into the primitive side of the human mind, not the fucking reptile side. So, cave women had some fucking issues. First off, when a woman gets pregnant, she has to carry a child for 9 fucking months. That's why we have maternity leave. Except imagine a pregnant woman running away from a saber-toothed tiger, foraging and gathering, and making a fire every fucking night just to continue living. No. Her brain is wired to look for a mate that can take care of her. So let's introduce Caveman Alpha and Caveman Beta. Caveman Alpha is physically fit and lives in a cave. Caveman Beta is scrawny and survives because he's good at running away from life-threatening problems. Her primitive mind says, oh, not only is there a higher percentage of me surviving by staying in a cave with the caveman that is strong enough to kill food, bring it back to the cave, which, by the way, keeps her safe from the elements, but also physically capable of fending off any potential threats to her. Also, if she's with Caveman Alpha, her child has a higher rate of survival as well. That's where the whole thing about a nice car and house and success and money and ripped body come from. Literally, it's the biological wiring in her primitive reptile brain that turns her on to those kinds of men. It doesn't apply as much today because society has evolved far enough that it's not survival of the physically fit anymore. So now, I've given you more insight and clarity than this douche, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. He continues to talk about how he printed out story after story after book after book. Oh my god, much learned. But apparently, this doesn't feel like hard work. What the fuck? How is he going to try and tell you that he doesn't like doing hard work and then turn around and sell you something that he's dedicated his life to putting in hard work? What the fuck is that? What kind of shit is this? Okay, so he talks about an obsession story that women are born with, and if you follow the steps in these obsession stories, they have to fall for it. Dude, all my experience with women is that they don't even know what they want. How are you going to follow fictional guidelines that tell you what they want? Every woman is different. Let's say this right now. There is no Staples easy button for humans. There's no easy button for medication. There's no easy button for mental health. There's no easy button for women. Alright, so this next point that he brings up is so fucked up, man. He states that it might feel unfair that you're in control from the moment you meet her until she's your loyal girlfriend. And he contrasts that by saying, but it feels better than getting rejected. We here at XYZ Company feel it's unfair that we're using scientific facts to control you from the moment we met you on YouTube till the moment that you're our loyal customer giving us any money we ask for. But it feels better than you not giving money. Am I right? Am I right? So after months of not feeling like hard work, he came up with a plan, bros. It didn't work perfectly at first. It needed refining, but luckily that doesn't mean more hard work. Nothing in life requires hard work to become good at it, obviously. That's why you're going to give us your money. Because it doesn't take hard work for us to put together a 47 fucking minute video trying to convince you that there's only one thing you need to change to become a sexual Jesus. Oh, fuck. Okay, so he says that he doesn't like approaching women. He's an introvert. So with more not hard work, he created a social hack. See, because hacks aren't hard work. They're cheap shortcuts to doing things shittier. Actually, do you even know what hacks are? The first definitions of hacking back in the day came from the ability to take something apart to see how it works. That's where computer hackers come from. You can't actually hack life. Life hacks are shit. Now you're trying to tell me that through not feeling like hard work, you learned how to hack social interactions by reading fictional erotic novels that cause women to act like the Axe commercial? Okay, so he goes on and he starts talking about landmines. During social interaction, women place landmines to ward you off because every woman's obsession story involves a man overcoming resistance to get her. This is slightly on track. Women do constantly test men to see how they react, but they're not looking for you to overcome their resistance. Okay, that gets rapey. If she's resisting, you don't try to overcome that. What the fuck? Women will test you to see if they can control you. And if they can, then you're beta and boring and they move on. You should never have to overcome resistance to get a woman. He continues to talk on about how when you follow his obsession story, women talk about how you make all the right moves and then it feels like you're one step ahead. And yes, when you do play your cards correctly, women can swoon over you and they do feel like things are clicking and working like fate. I get that. I've had that. It's doable. But all the other bullshit selling points are just so sketch, man. It sounds like he's using actual results from actual guys that are successful to make this point that his method does the same thing. Blah, blah, blah. He keeps talking about his system works wonders for him. Whatever, man. I still have no tangible proof that you even know what you're talking about. Then he states, the amazing part of the system is that it does all the work for him. I don't know of any product that is sold on the market that does literally all the work for you. Everything still requires you to put effort into it, using it properly. It's just shady that this perfect system is a one-thing change that does all the hard work for you to turn girls into the Axe commercial. From all my experience with women, you still need to put time and effort into them. It doesn't just do all the work. You need to calibrate the situation. You need to know how to respond to the proper social tests that they do. When you get down to it, it's art. Talking to women is an art form. It's like dancing. Just because you know how to doesn't mean you can put on the dance outfit and it does all the hard work of making you dance like a seasoned salsa dancer. What the fuck? You have to feel out your partner, and regardless of your dancing skills or her dancing skills, sometimes you just don't groove with each other. All right, so here it is, ladies and gentlemen. He finally gets to his damn tip 12 minutes later, so he lied about that too. Ready for the big ol' easy button tip to figure out if a woman wants to have sex with you on the first night without even leaving your place to go out and have a fun date? You ask her to come by your place first. If she declines, she doesn't want to fuck. But if she says yes, then comrade, you have hit checkpoint number 1, and it's a good sign that she's DTF. Oh my fucking god. You're supposed to answer the door almost ready, but without shoes on and half a glass of wine in your hand. Okay, first off, if you're going on a date with a girl, you've agreed to a time and a place. Now you're contradicting yourself by changing plans to get her to come over to your place. When you answer the door, not only are you not ready, but you're already drinking? Really? On top of which, if you know anything about wine, you're supposed to fill up a glass of wine halfway to begin with. So you're actually answering the door with a full glass of wine. That tells me that you have every intention not to leave the house. Oh, and you're supposed to invite her in while you finish up your email, and chug your full glass of wine real quick before you go on your date. Fuck, man, I hope you're not driving. If she agrees to come in, you've hit checkpoint 2. There's no plan for if she's like, bro, what the fuck? Because if she's not willing to come into your house, how the fuck is she obsessed with you? Right? Can we stick to that point for a sec? You're telling me that you have this foolproof plan to get women obsessed with you. And you're telling me that if she's not willing to come into your house, somehow she's obsessed with you still? That doesn't sound obsessed. Not to mention, now that she's declined going into your house, she's standing outside your front door waiting for your dumb ass to get your shit together and do something with that glass of wine. Here's an idea that I actually used when I found a girl in a city I just moved to. Okay, you tell her to meet up with you in a public place with her friends, and you say that you're going to bring your friends. Then instead of lying to her about your intentions, you actually bring your friends. That way she feels safe about meeting you, and you both have a way out of the situation should anything get weird. That shows that you're not a fucking serial murderer that 80% of women are rightly afraid of. Not only that, but you're now showing that you are someone who actually has friends, and that your friends and her friends can become friends organically and just focus on having a fun night instead of trying to see if she's DTF. Look, when you get good at talking to women, you're not worried about smashing. You know why? Because you get girls all the time. It's not a big deal that you could possibly lose one here or there because it's easy for you to just turn around and get another one whenever. But he's not talking about any of these concepts. All he's focused on is telling you one crazy easy change that will get any girl obsessed to fuck you. He continues to talk about how he decoded the secret, which works on an evolutionary level and not her social programming. Well, I hate to break it to you, painting a picture takes more than just one type of brushstroke. It takes more than one type of color. But Senpai, what about all those pictures that literally just one blob of red paint in the middle of a canvas sell for like $15,000? Yeah, great. That works for one painting. And you're assuming that it only sells because the painter who painted it is a well-known painter. And you're buying the painting because of the person who painted it, not the painting itself. And actually, that's how talking to women works. I've personally witnessed guys trying to force their opinions on girls. What I mean by that is that they'll start talking to a girl about something that the guy likes, something the guy is into. However, the girl couldn't care less. I've taught that same guy to learn how to attract women first before you start talking about your likes and dislikes. When a girl is into a guy, she will be interested in the things he likes just because he likes them. But if she doesn't give a shit about that guy, then why the fuck is she going to give a shit about what he likes? Unless he's lucky enough to like the same thing she does. Answer? She doesn't. And you don't just bypass the social programming. Okay? The social programming and evolutionary biological wiring, they work together. Humans literally have two minds, the conscious and the subconscious. You can't just bypass one of her minds, because the way human brains, not fucking reptile brains, the way human brains work is that the conscious and subconscious minds work together. He keeps referencing people but not their names. This is a common tactic. He's literally creating a fantasy in your head, but he's not providing anything. All the subjects he keeps bringing up are vague and don't really communicate solid concepts. He just keeps saying, my system works, it's based in science, and it's what women want because it's derived from their fantasy novels. But there's no concrete examples or concepts. He talks about evolution and what women really want. But here I am telling you about the basis of the evolutionary part of a woman's mind. I told you why women want buff dudes that can demonstrate success, and then proved to you why social programming gives you the chance because it's not survival of the physically fit anymore. Which is why you don't have to be amazingly handsome to get more attractive women. But I'm not here trying to take your money. Literally, if you go on my Instagram, you can see girls that I'm friends with. I have a lot of big name model friends that enjoy spending time with me. And I'm not afraid to tell you their names or show you their faces because I'm friends with them. I'm not using them to sell a product without their knowledge. He continues about how if you follow his system, you don't have to spend time or money, and you can, quote, pretty much skip right to the good stuff. Look, in my experience at talking to women, you don't just change one thing and become a sex god. The more you dive into it, the more you find out that it's a personal journey. You learn how to better yourself and invest in yourself. And that takes time and effort and lots of little changes together to make a big overall change to the kind of person you are. Ironically, he talks about giving you the skills to try before you buy with women in your life, but he doesn't give you the option to try before you buy with his system. He literally says there's just nothing easier, quote, just a simple step-by-step system to activate her obsession story that even the most dim-witted man could follow and still succeed with. Do you see all the red flags yet? See, that's the problem. Most average guys don't know these concepts, so how are they supposed to know it doesn't actually work like that? He's playing on the fact that most guys are so frustrated over years of not getting results, and this compounds and makes them want to just hit that easy button. That's not how life works. For anything. There is no simple step-by-step system that you can follow to be incredible at anything. Let's put it this way. I'm going to give you another free tip here. This is like the 4th free tip I've given you without looking for your wallet. Humans are built to suffer. What I mean by that is look at working out. When you work out your muscles, you do physical activity that causes micro tears in the muscle fiber. The body then responds by using protein to repair those torn fibers. But the body's like, we need to prepare for next time so we don't take damage and tear again. So it uses a few extra proteins to increase the muscle's performance. Over time, repairing these micro tears and strengthening the muscle causes them to get bigger and look more defined. That's how working out works. You literally have to tear your muscles before you can become stronger. It's the same thing mentally. You have to mentally go through hard times to come out the other side a stronger, more mature individual. Humans are designed to suffer, overcome, and get stronger. By that principle alone, you cannot just simply learn something and turn God mode cheats on. That's why there's a difference between book smart and street smart. Just because you know something doesn't mean you have the practical experience to perform it well. That takes practice and devotion and, hard work, which again means that there's no easy one-fix solution to anything in life. He goes on to talk about he doesn't want a system that requires a lot of hard work. We just covered that. That's a giant red flag. Then he says that he didn't want to totally change who he was. This is a huge red flag to me. This doesn't even have to do with girls. This is a principle that applies to a lot of things. You guys are getting a lot of info from this discussion. Here's the thing. Albert Einstein said the definition of crazy is trying the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. You see how I didn't just say, one of the world's best scientists once said? Anyways, if you add 2 and 2 together, you get 4. If you add 2 and 2 together, you're not going to get any other numbers. You can't just expect to get anything other than the result you're already getting. To get 5, you have to add 2 and 3, or 2 and 1 and 2. But those are different. Those are changes. Edison wouldn't have gotten a light bulb if he had just tried the first experiment the whole time. No. He tried the first experiment. It didn't work. So he changed something. That didn't work. So he changed another thing. He kept doing that 10,000 times until he finally figured it out. And yeah, we know how to make light bulbs now. And yes, we know how electricity works. But I'm not going to give you a schematic on how to create a light bulb and expect you to be able to handcraft any type of light bulb that fits any type of socket. In fact, the first time you try to make any light bulb, it's probably going to suck. It's going to be horrible because it's your first try. Everyone knows this. You're not going to make a macaroni Mona Lisa on your first try. Even though macaroni art isn't exactly difficult, it still takes effort and change to develop yourself as a person and refine a skill. That's what gives you value as a human being. If you're not getting the women you want in your life, or not getting women at all right now, you have to change. And I'm going to tell you that it's not just one thing. It's not just going to be simple, but there is a way. There's hope and there is a light to follow. Just not this guy. At least not this advertisement. Okay, again, I didn't buy the product, so I can't be sure. But then he talks about how he launched his system over 3 years ago and over 150,000 men have bought it. Even if his system only costs $1, over 3 years, he would have made over minimum wage each year. He also doesn't state that over 150,000 men were satisfied with their results. Okay, so this next move is another marketing tactic. It works on a marketing principle that you have to display a short window of opportunity so that people don't want to miss out on something. He says, I'm going to tell you what's exactly in the system, but first, he has to shut the doors on some of the viewers because there are very limited seats. Limited seats? Bruh, this is a digital product. There are no seats. Whenever a salesman tells you that you have to act fast because there's only a limited number of seats, they're trying to get you to pay them before their time is up and selling you their product. This is how marketing works. He says, this system isn't for you if you're not ready for more women in your life. Bruh, your target audience is men who don't have women in their life. If I had a magical system that you could follow that made you shitloads of money, and I said, it's not for you if you aren't ready for more money in your life, dude, even filthy rich people always want more money in their life. What kind of fucking shit statement is that? He continues on with customer testimonials. Bruh, we're only 21 minutes into this 47-minute advertisement. Fuck. Hopefully you can see how many red flags there are. And then he goes on to state really shitty things that contradict themselves, like, quote, I'll give you one sneaky but ethical strategy to get a woman who's unattainable. Which one is it, dude? Sneaky or ethical? Because women don't even like white lies, bruh. And then he brings in his book to his king game tips. Okay? He talks about doing 3 simple things in the first 3 minutes that won't allow her to put you in the friend zone because she's going to be thinking about giving herself to you sexually. And that's not how it works, dude. What the fuck? Humans are so fucking complicated. Why do you think there's things like job interviews? You can't just do 3 magical things in the first 3 minutes of a job interview and expect a CEO position. He also ironically mentions that guys have bought into other lies. He's literally lying straight through his teeth about other people lying. This fucking guy disproves himself with every sentence he says. He just talked about his other book about King Game. Now he says, quote, no more screwing it up, no more games, end quote. No more games? But here's my book on King Game. Bruh, I can't do this anymore. This is too much. I'm done with this. The system costs $67, and he throws in a shitload of freebies and then says that if you don't buy it right fucking now, he's going to raise the price again and remove all the freebies, so don't miss out. Whenever someone wants you to quickly throw your money, you need to be weary. Look, I don't know this whole system. I don't know his technique. I don't know much about this guy. But I do know that even if he has a good system, you don't start off lying to people about things. The purpose of this video is not to bring this guy down. It's to show guys not to just buy into things that sound so freaking good that it's not going to be true. Use some simple logic. And he might be a good person. He might have a good system. But marketing is business and cutthroat. And I feel like if he really does have a good thing going for him, that he shouldn't need to use such tactics to get people on board. I hope this helps some of you guys out.